so you guys know.
There we go. Well, good evening to all of you. What I thought we'd do is talk a little bit with Billy about, this is a terrific book, and it's Hillbilly Heart, and we're going to get into that a little bit. Thankfully, Billy brought along the left-handed guitar. Does that have a nickname, the guitar?
This is Maryland.
Okay. And we're going to I bet on occasion get Billy to pick up the guitar and we'll answer some of your questions as well. I tell you, first and foremost, congratulations to you. I think what you've done here, and you tell me if it was hard to do or not, it's a really honest book. And we were talking a little bit upstairs, and you said, it's all out there. And when you saw the galleys of it, did you think to yourself, boy, I really have it all out there?
And it's been, you reach a crossroads in your life where, you always want to be aware of your current surroundings, and it's always good to be looking forward and know where you want to go, but most importantly, you never want to forget where you come from. And writing this book was that moment for me of digging back into some places that, quite frankly, it's a bit painful to go back to some of those spots and some of the things as a kid. I've thrown away some of those memories and put them in a closet and lock them and threw away the key. It just hurt to go back and actually revisit it in writing this book in some ways. It was a little bit of therapy. A whole lot of heartbreak, maybe, against the time. It really hard. And, most importantly, it brings me to that crossroads to look forward and move on to the future.
Well, I tell you what, there's a lot that we'll go through and a lot you've accomplished, certainly in the entertainment business and not just the entertainment business. A lot of people say, oh, there are these great women in my life. You reference two very important men, your father and your grandfather. And particularly how important your grandfather was when as growing up, your parents went through some stuff.
That's exactly right, yeah. My Papa Cyrus. Papa they said really for grandfather. And I had a Papa Cyrus, and my other Papa was my Papa Cancer. And like everything in my life, there was always an opposite and equal reaction to everything. Papa Cyrus was a Pentecostal preacher, and he was just very, very spiritual and such an influence in teaching me about the Bible, about God. And my Papa Casto, he was a spiritual man too, but he also rode the caboose on the Central Railroad. He liked to have a cold beer every now and then, and he loved to shoot skeet and shoot his guns. And just having those two different influences, you might have read in the book. He'd tell me dirty joke every now and then. So it was always, to have those influences, and both of those men really is guides and cornerstones to my life. And then my dad was, to me, I couldn't have had a better dad. He was the ultimate dad, and not only being my dad, he was my best friend, he was my counselor, he was my preacher, if you will. He was whatever I needed him to be. He was that guy to talk to, and he was always honest with me.
And when you say councilman, I don't know if you can double entendre there, because he was politically active.
He was politically active, but no, I just used it as if I needed to talk like a lawyer, or if he was a manager in some ways. Everything as I was going through my career, especially the decade of the 80s, he was the guy that I would talk to about things. And he'd just try to give me his opinion on what he might feel about certain things.
Speaking of careers, before the career that we all know, you weren't necessarily heading this direction at all. There was an opportunity for athletics, and
that's right. Yeah, I was a catcher and thought I'd be the catcher for the Cincinnati Reds. Though one of the highlights of my baseball career was getting to be a Dodger for a day. And Tommy was sort of pitched to me. Mike Piazza gave me his catcher's mitt. Darryl Strawberry was out on the field, and getting to suit up and be a Dodger was truly one of the highlights of my entire career.
You also make reference, and I think this is really interesting, is that people use this phrase, oh, there's a voice in my head. And when you talk about these voices that you heard, I don't know if it was a voice in your head or a voice from elsewhere.
Yeah, I'm still not sure.
Right. Okay, but they gave you kind of specific instruction.
Pretty specific, yeah.
And one of them was about not Maryland, but Maryland's, one of Maryland's predecessors.
That's right. Yeah, it was, and that voice being, you know, some people might call it an instinct, intuition, gut feeling, whatever it was, it spoke pretty clearly. Buy a guitar and start a band, and you'll find your purpose in life. After I put it off for a long time and kept thinking, you know, maybe I was just hearing that, you know. And, but there came a moment where, and ironically, again, there's no coincidences. Just this evening, I was doing Access Hollywood, and they surprised me with a message from Neil Diamond. And it was Neil Diamond that had that moment that was the pinnacle, the cornerstone of this feeling of buy a guitar and start a band and you'll find your purpose in life. And Neil Diamond, and when I went to see him in concert and won these tickets to sing, it was really, that was the night that I clarified that this is what I'm supposed to do, because music can heal people, music can move people, and he was a huge influence. And ironically, we're having this talk tonight, and I saw this message from Neil just come around.
And what was that message?
He said, hey, Billy Ray, how many songs have you wrote today? I don't know. It was very short but sweet, to the point. And that's what he had written on a guitar that he gave me in 1992. It was a black ovation. And he had written with a silver pen, hey, Billy Ray, how many songs have you wrote today? And it was one of his personal guitars, so it was right-handed. Obviously, I played like this, left-handed, but my dad played right-handed. And so when my dad would come and see me, he would just pick up Neil Diamond's guitar, and that was his guitar when he'd come and see me in Tennessee. And then a few years ago, he got sick and died of mesothelioma. And so I brought the guitar back home from Kentucky. And to this day, Miley or any of my kids, if they're going to pick up a guitar at the house, they'll always pick up that Neil Diamond guitar, because that's the one my dad played. And there's something really special and magical about that guitar. It's been dropped, kicked, fell over, played all different directions. I don't know that it's ever been tuned since the day he gave it to me, but it never goes out of tune. Miley will tell you, she always picks up the Neil Diamond guitar and plays it, goes, Danny, why does it never go out of tune? It's always in tune. And there's something about it, you know. On the flight, no coincidence, you know, I was listening, they had some selections of music, and I listened to Neil Diamond, and that song played. And when I got to California just a few days ago, I saw that guitar sitting there and I playing. It's interesting, I listened to that on the flight, and then I didn't know that he was going to send me that message. No coincidences in my life, which is just kind of crazy.
All right, so let's go back, and you can tell me the age. You're in a tobacco or cigarette warehouse, and is it a forklift driver? Or
I was the forklift driver.
So you're making some money.
Not money.
But is that when you think, okay, this is really where I'm going to make this turn? I'm really going to pursue this.
Well, and I'm still playing baseball at the time, and having a job and going to Ashland Community College, and you know, still thinking that I was going to be John Bench. But yeah, I started hearing this voice, and at that time it became very dominant. Buy a guitar, start a band, and you'll find your purpose in life. And it was, they were driving that forklift that I heard the radio playing, and they were giving away tickets to see Neil Diamond. And at that point, I'd been dealing with it for so long, I was ready to clarify that maybe I needed to go get some counseling, maybe see a psychiatrist or something, because this voice, you know. And but the voice really, it was so clear. It was like, Cyrus, play this game. You've never won anything in your life. If you win these tickets, then you'll know there's something you're supposed to go see. And if you don't win them, then go get some help. And, so I really wanted to play it just to go ahead and lose, to clarify the fact that, you know, maybe that I was going crazy. But instead, I won the tickets. The last set of tickets they gave away that night, I won. And went to see the show, and it was that moment of him singing, Holly, holy night, Holly, holy night. It was a point in the middle way to the song, and the band, the orchestra got real dynamic, and all those, the choir, it was a large choir with many, many singers, and they all was doing oohs and ahs and all those things. He held the arena in the palm of his hands. But it was as if he spoke to every individual in every seat. And he said, I don't care if you're white or black, rich or poor, man or woman. You can be anything you want to be in this world if you live for the light, live for love. And it was this moment of, he was the light. And that's when I felt the clarity that, Cyrus, that's how God's going to use your life through the music. And you need to go buy a guitar. And I'm in the next time. Started a band that night.
And that's an amazing story. And was there a thought, gee, I want to do this, and or I've got the ability to do this?
Yeah, see what confused me so much was that ever since I was a little boy, I'd pick up my dad's guitar, my brother's guitar, and I'd sit for hours and hours and hours and sit and do this, and I'd look at his book, the Glenn Campbell songbook, and where the fingers go, and I'd work and work and work, and sometimes I'd play for weeks and maybe pick up a couple chords, but I just didn't think I could play. And then the night of the Neil Diamond concert, that's why my guitar started banging, I can't play guitar. And then that night, after the concert, I was driving down Interstate 64 from Charleston, West Virginia, between Charleston and Huntington. And I kind of was like pounding the steering wheel of my truck. And I was going, but God, I can't play guitar. I can't play guitar. And it was like, the feeling was a smile. And it said, I'll let him guitar. Oh, there's a difference? I didn't know that there was a difference. But to be honest, for my brain, the way I thought I played baseball right-handed, so I just figured, I did it like that. But I guess the way my brain was wired, that once I bought a left-handed guitar, then everything just made sense inside my head. And so I just started playing. I called down to Portsmouth, Ohio, to a place called Chandler's Music, I believe it is. And they had one left-handed guitar, and I came down and got it. And that was it. I started a band. But the left-handed guitar made all the difference.
Don't put that guitar down quite yet. And this is going to go way from that. Is there anything from that time that you feel you can play a little bit of?
Oh, well, I could. My first record was called What the Hell's Going On. Okay. And then it was something like this. It went like, what the hell's going on? I never ever did you wrong. Nowadays it seems you're almost gone. What the hell is going on? Every night I am alone. I tried to call you on the phone, but as always you're not on. What the hell is going on?
Not sure that deserves
That was the A-side, and then the B-side was a song I did about my buddy Robbie Tooley, and it was called Suddenly. And it was something like this. Like a breeze in the mountain, sunshine in the spring, like a rocket out and starry bound, a walk and hear it sing, like a morning glow closing up, and you who walks for mine. How fast a friend can leave you now till in time.
All right, so you got the guitar on the proper side. You have the band.